Could it be? But me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to the Skill Game, brought to you by Sleeper. I'm going to talk about the Sleeper app here in a bit, make some picks on the Sleeper app for this massive Sunday Night Football matchup. Highly anticipated. Jerry Jones, I say this all the time about Jerry Jones. You say what you want about him. He's no dummy, okay? He's a lot of things, and there are a lot of adjectives that you can use to describe Jerry Jones. Stupid is not one of them. The trade that he made was dumb, right? Trading away Michael Parsons, not signing him. Of all the guys that you have elected to re-sign, that was the one that should have been at the top of the list. You wasted money on Trayvon Diggs. You should have spent the money that it took to get Michael Parsons signed up. You should have spent that money. But he set up a massive matchup. And I don't think that was in his mind when the trade went down, but you'd be a damn fool to think that Jerry didn't also consider that he was setting up this massive matchup on Sunday Night Football that is probably going to set a new record for most eyeballs on a Sunday night game in NBC history, NFL history, whatever it sounds like, whatever that looks like. Cowboys already moved the needle. Packers are a big-time franchise. And oh, by the way, now you get Michael Parsons' revenge game against his old mates. You can't make this stuff up. The script writers got this one right. And this one's gonna do numbers. Okay. We're gonna see a tweet or we're gonna see a post on social media that says this was the most watched game on Sunday Night Football since or in the history of Sunday Night Football. Jerry knew what he was doing here. This is going to be a big one. Cowboys at home, needing a win desperately as their season is starting to teeter on the brink of falling apart at the seams. And no, there's no excuse this time. Dak got hurt. That's the only time in Dak's career, and since Dak has been a member of the Cowboys, that they haven't been actually good or at least competitive. Their season is heading towards that way. If they can't win this game and they drop to 1-3 on the season, they're in a very perilous state. And again, they've got injuries too, do the Dallas Cowboys. And the Packers came off of a really interesting loss on the road. Look, Cleveland can play some defense, but to only score 10 points on the road, to lose in the fashion, they were up 10-0 with 3 minutes left in that game and somehow managed to lose that football game 13-10. That's pretty special to do. However, no one thinks that the Packers aren't a good team based off of that, result last week. They're still one of the better teams in football. They had a hiccup last week. They're still one of the best defensive teams in the league. They're still an offense that once they get it going, and they have yet to really do that this season. They've had one game really, and that was their week 2 contest against Washington where they kind of got the offense going. But even still, they only scored 27 points in that game. So it's not like they lit the scoreboard up. They've really struggled this season to score points. They beat up Detroit in week 1, but they didn't score a bunch of points in doing so. And so when you look at Green Bay, this feels like a game that they should dominate, right? Feels like a game that they should be able to win handily. And that may take place. With no CeeDee Lamb in this game for Dallas, you're taking away the best weapon the Cowboys have on the outside. George Pickens is starting to do the George Pickens thing. Had a ball tip off his hands that should have been an easy catch and instead resulted in an interception. He had a couple of crash outs on the sideline. So he's doing the George Pickens thing that we expected him to do in Dallas. They did not bring him here to be a number one. They brought him here to be a compliment to CeeDee Lamb. Now he's got to step into a number 1 wide receiver role, sort of like what he was in Pittsburgh. But nonetheless, we'll see how he handles all of that because he didn't handle it well last week against Chicago. But if you're Green Bay, your main objective is to stop the Cowboys' run game, right? Javonte Williams has actually played well in this young NFL season. He's probably performed above expectations. I think he's exceeded the Cowboys' expectations when they signed him to that 1-year deal. He's played well. They don't have a complement to him. That's been the problem. None of the young scat back running backs, the speed guys, the Jaden Blues and the, Deuce Vaughns or any of those guys have emerged as someone that can be a great complement to him. I feel like they should put Turpin back there a little bit. But again, they don't utilize Turpin the way that I would, because Turpin would be touching the ball 7 to 10 times in a myriad of ways. offensively. Instead, they decided to put CeeDee Lamb back there, and that got him hurt, right? So the Cowboys are all over the place, but you got to stop Javonte Williams because you don't want Dak leaning on the run game here. You want to be able to isolate Dak in this game, force the Cowboys into known passing situations, 3rd and long, so that you can put your pass rush unit on the field and start to get after him. That's what's going to allow you to separate yourself in this game. Their offensive line is beat up. I think Tyler Booker, their first-round pick, is out of this game. They've got injuries on that offensive line. You should be able to take full advantage of that, but it starts with stopping the run. You do that, you force Dak in this offense into 3rd and longs, you get after him, and that's how you're going to generate turnovers. That's how you're going to generate stops and get the ball back to your offense. That's how you're going to create separation in this game defensively. Offensively, if you're Green Bay, you have to attack that secondary. I mean, the Cowboys have one of the worst secondaries in football right now. They're getting gashed and gouged over the top repeatedly, week after week after week. They can't stop anybody. We saw what the Giants did to them in week 2. We saw what Caleb Williams and an anemic Bears offense up until this point did to them last week. We see what they are from a pass defense standpoint. They can't stop anybody from throwing the football. So look, it'd be nice to establish Josh Jacobs in this game and get the run game going, because we know Matt LaFleur wants to go play action fake off of the run, but you don't even really need to do that against this Dallas Cowboys defense, who has really actually been good against the run, but they've been absolutely horrid against the pass. So it's kind of a role reversal, right? Jerry brainwashed the entire Cowboys fan base by telling them, we did this trade to get better against the run. Sure you did, Jerry. And look, you're stopping the run. Hey, how about that? But you lied to yourself in thinking that you were still going to be able to generate pass rush, which you have not been able to do, which is why the Bears threw a flea flicker to the moon last week. They flicked the ball to the moon. Caleb Williams stood back there, knitted himself a sweater, painted his nails, allowed them to dry, then caught the ball and then threw a 70-yard touchdown pass. It was incredible. That's how bad the Cowboys are at getting to the quarterback. So you couple a bad pass rush with an even worse secondary, and you have a recipe for disaster. If you're the Green Bay Packers, this is a recipe for success. So take advantage of that secondary. Do whatever you would like to, whatever you will with that secondary. That should be your ticket to success offensively. You stop the run on defense, get to Dak on defense, and that should be your recipe to success there. Again, feels like a game that Green Bay should win handily, but we've seen stranger things happen, like last week against Cleveland. But I think that was a wake-up call for Green Bay, right? They probably needed that. I don't know if you want a wake-up call like that, especially early in the season. Like a wake-up call like that in week 9 or 10 to recalibrate, or even week 12, 13, 14, 15, when you're smelling yourself a little bit and you just need that, hey, you're good, but you're not that good. Yeah. That happens later. You don't want that in week 3, but it happened. But I think it refocuses them in week 4 for this contest against Dallas. If you're the Cowboys, look, the first thing you want to do is you want to continue to run with Javonte Williams. You want to establish that run because you want to take pressure off of Dak and that pass rush that you know you're going to face in Green Bay. You don't want, like, Micah Parsons is going to be such a big part of the game plan if you're Dallas. Like, Micah Parsons, you don't want him wrecking the game. You don't even want him getting a sack in this game if you're Dallas. You're petty. I know I would be petty. I don't want Micah Parsons getting to the quarterback in this game. I don't want him having the satisfaction of being able to feel like he came back to Dallas and had himself a field day. So I feel like there are mechanisms that they're going to try to put in place to make sure that one doesn't get off in this game. Will they be able to stop him is another question, but I think they're going to go so far out of their way to make sure one doesn't have a sack that you're going to see some other guys potentially have opportunities. But with that said, you got to establish Javonte Williams, because that's what's going to keep the Packers honest defensively. It's going to stop them from being able to just focus and key in on getting after Dak. If you can do that, and you're going to have to utilize the short, quick pass game. You cannot drop Dak back and have him standing back there, 3-4 seconds looking for receivers down the field, looking and waiting for routes to develop. It's got to be 3-step drops. It's got to be ball out of Dak's hands. It's got to be snap, catch it, ball out, right? Quick hitters. It's hard to run screens against this Green Bay Packers defense because they're so fast at every level that they make it tough on the screen game. So I don't know if I would necessarily use the screen game. I don't think it's something that has been highly successful against this Packers defense, but I would use a combination of the quick pass game and the run game to neutralize their pass rush. So I think that's something you have to do if you're Dallas. And then when opportunities to take a shot, show themselves, you can't miss those opportunities, right? I don't know if you're going to get a lot of those in this game, but if you do get a couple of those opportunities, you need to take advantage of them. Defensively, it feels like you're in a no-win situation here. Like the Packers don't have to run the football to be successful. They want to run the football, and they're going to run the football with Josh Jacobs. It's what they do. They're going to run the football. But the question becomes, can you stop them from utilizing play action fake? Can you stop them from getting vertical and hitting shot? They got a receiver that they drafted in the first round, Matthew Golden, that can flat out fly. This feels like a Matthew Golden, 153, 2-touchdown type of game where he just goes bananas behind his secondary. And so the only thing I can say is you got to find a way to manufacture pass rush, but you haven't done it through 3 weeks. What makes this week the week that all of a sudden now Donovan Azaraku and Dante Fowler Jr. all of a sudden start getting to the quarterback? Is Kenny Clark all of a sudden going to turn into a pass rushing defensive tackle? I think not. So it feels like a situation where you're kind of stuck in no man's land, honestly. But we'll see what happens. The Cowboys have a chance in this game if they can start fast. I think they have to start fast. What they don't want to do is what they did last week, and that's get off to a slow start. Now, they were able to erase a 14-3 deficit last week and tie the game up at 14 before giving up 17 unanswered points and losing the game 31-14. But you don't want to put yourself in that hole, right? And against a Green Bay Packers team that is so good defensively. I think the Packers, the most points they gave up this season was to the Commanders in week 2, and that was only 18. They haven't given up 20 points in a single game this season. I forget how many points the Lions scored in week 1, but it wasn't very many. It was like 10, I think, 31, 10, 20, 7, 10 or something like that, that score was. They gave 18 to the Commanders, and 8 of that came in garbage time, and then they gave up 13 last week to Cleveland. Like, they're not surrendering a ton of points. So you can't afford to fall behind quickly in this game and expect to be able to make those points up and get yourself back in the game. And I'm going to tell you what you probably need to find a way to do is create some turnovers or have special teams show up in this game for you. A Kevontae Turpin punt return, kickoff return for a touchdown, or a big return that sets up great field position, and a turnover, right? Whether that comes on special teams that you create or defense you create against Jordan Love or Josh Jacobs or one of these Packers receivers or tight ends, you got to create a turnover. You got to shorten the field for your offense because it's a struggle against this Packers defense. So you're going to have to make some sort of play, right? Block a kick, return a kick, force a turnover, something that can flip this game on its head and equal it. And as I like to say, the great equalizer is turnovers. You got to find a way to balance the playing field because it feels like it's slanted in the favor of the Packers right now heading into this game. So with that said, let's get to the skill game brought to you by Sleeper.
The skill game brought to you by Sleeper.
So Sleeper is a fantasy sports and real money gaming app that focuses on bringing people together through sports and gaming. I absolutely love this app and what it brings to the table. I've talked about how this has enhanced my sports viewing. It's enhanced my sports watching experience. And every time I'm watching a game now, there's an extra rush that comes with it because I've got my LTN exclusives where, I got my survivor pool pick or I got my teams that I'm rooting for, but now I'm rooting for things inside the game. And I'm not a fantasy guy. So I've told you that already. I'm not a fantasy guy, but I am a guy that is really intrigued by the, what is this player going to do? What is that defense going to do? What is this kicker going to do? What is this guy going to do? What is that guy going to do? I am intrigued by that, right? I don't feel like fantasy football requires a ton of skill. It does in that realm of, like they talk about stuff that's crazy to me. Like, hey, this player averages 87 yards when on turf. And I'm like, what? But I mean, if that kind of data drives your success on fantasy, cool, knock yourself out. I love looking at a player in this particular game against that team and saying, can he get 4 catches today? Right? I don't care about the yards. I don't care if he has 67 yards. Can he get 4 catches today? Will he be targeted enough times? Have the games that I've watched, do I feel like this is a game where they're going to check it down? Like these are the in-game things. And that's what Sleeper brings out of a person like myself who considers himself to be a junkie, an NFL junkie, which I am. So if you want to enhance your sports watching experience, Sleeper is the way to do that. Use my promo code LTN. If you haven't already done so, first and foremost, you need to download the Sleeper app. There's a description. There's a link in the description of this and every single video that I do that will allow you to download the Sleeper app if you don't already have it. If you already have it, then you're already ahead of the game. All you got to do is use my promo code LTN. All right. That'll get you 100% match on a deposit up to $100. Dollar for dollar match. So you put in $75, they're going to give you $75 extra dollars to use on the app. You put in 100, they're going to give you an additional 100 to use in the app. What's not to love about that? All you got to do is download the app and make sure that it's available in your state. It's available in over 25 states. Is Sleeper. Use the promo code LTN and let's go have some fun. So let's see what I'm doing in this game. So you're looking at the screen here. Going to click on NFL. And then we're going to go to this Sunday night affair between the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. So I feel like the Micah Parsons sack, we're going to start with the hot picks here. I feel like that is a trap. It's a damn good trap, but it's a trap nonetheless. I don't think he's going to get a sack tonight. I should take the less just to prove a point, but I'm just going to stay away from it altogether. He's such a disruptive force, and even if Dallas decides we're not going to allow Micah to get a sack, he still could end up getting a sack. Excuse me. Like, I could still see him running Dak down by the sidelines. Dak runs out of bounds, doesn't throw the ball away, and he steps out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage, and he's credited a sack, something like that, right? Anything like that. I just don't want to get caught up in something dumb like that transpiring. But I don't think he's going to get a sack tonight. As much as we're making of Micah Parsons going back to Dallas, I think he's going to have an impact on this game. He is going to be someone that Dallas focuses on stopping, which is going to allow others, which is why I think I'm going to go get a Rashawn Gary sack for tonight. I think that, or for tomorrow night. I think that is more likely to happen. Matthew Golden, 46. I'm taking this. Matthew Golden is going to have a big catch in this game. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go Matthew Golden 60 yards. He hasn't had more than 52 yards in any game this season. He's going for, you know what? The multiplier isn't great enough from 60 to 70. If it was a little bit higher, I would probably go 70. I really think he's going to have 2 explosive plays, but let's just go to 1. Let's just go to 60 yards or more for him. He's going to have a breakout game. If I say that, I need to back that up with action. Against this stinking ass Cowboys secondary, it feels like he could go off, like off. I'll come back to that. I'm gonna leave it at 60 though for right now. Let's see. Who else is someone that I think Jordan Love's gonna have more than 230, 2 passing yards. So I'm gonna take that. He's gonna light this Cowboys secondary up. Let's see. I'm gonna go to the 250 for that. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that because of how bad Dallas has been stopping the pass. I'm going to leave the kick points, the field goals alone. I may go to kick points, though, on this game. I may go to kick points on this game. Let's see. So I think I took all the hot ones that I like. Javante, Brandon Aubrey at 1.5. I gotta do that. Gotta do that. He's gonna kick 2 field goals in this game. Dallas is a field goal kicking team. So he's gonna kick 2 field goals. Pass yards. We already did that with Jordan Love. Let me see Dak's pass yards. Because it feels like even if they're out of this game, he's gonna have to throw the football. But Green Bay's defense is so good. He may have to throw it and still not have a lot of yards. I'm just gonna leave him alone in this game. Not gonna touch that. Jordan Love, 6.5 rush yards. Boy, they feel like they're taunting me with that one. Like, take me. But Jordan don't like to run for real, though. He don't like to run. But he's had 18 yards rushing last week, 12 against Washington. He don't want to run, but a 7-yard run, Jordan Love can't do that. I don't know. I'm going to come back to that one. Ooh, that one feels like one that I should just take and not even think about it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Let's go to receptions. Anytime touchdown. Matthew Golden. I just said he's going to have an explosive. I think he's going to get an explosive over the top for a touchdown. So I'm going to take him on an anytime touchdown. Whether that's like they don't hand it to him. So I should just go to receiving. Let me see what receiving touchdown look like for him. Is that more than 2.58? That's receiving yards. Let's see, where's the receiving touchdowns at? Oh, they don't have a receiving touchdown. Anytime touchdown. So I'll just leave it at anytime touchdown. So let's go to receptions. Pickens. I mean, who else are they going to throw the football to? Pickens, he's got to have 5 catches in this game, right? Like, that just seems, even if they're short catches, feels like he's got to catch it 5 times. How many did he have last week? 5? 5 against the Giants, 5 against the Bears, and this is without CeeDee Lamb. Feels like they're going to have to force him the ball, even if they don't want to. Ferguson is going to have to step up, but I don't like 7 catches for him, even though he could definitely get targeted 11 times and have 7 catches in this game. But I'm just going to stay away from that. Matthew Golden doesn't have to have 4 catches to be, a dynamo. He could have 3 catches for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game. So I'm not touching Matthew Golden with 4 catches. But I do like Tucker Kraft, who is a little banged up, but I do like him on 4 catches in this game. What did he have last week? 3. Probably should leave him alone. This is the problem with Green Bay. They don't have a guy, right? So they can spread it around, and each of these dudes could have, 3 catches, and then Malik Heath could have 3 catches as well. That's not even listed here, and you can get right. So I think I need to just leave that alone. 20 completions for Jordan Love. He hasn't had 20 completions in any game this season. I'm not gonna make this the first game, even though the Cowboys stink in the secondary. My goodness. But that could just lead to explosive plays, and he doesn't have to have a bunch of, catches or completions, excuse me. They're just explosive ones. I'm not touching McManus in this game because they could score a bunch of touchdowns. I'm not gonna touch McManus. 31 attempts for Jordan Love. Has he had that? And that was against the Commanders. Yeah, I'm not touching that. Rush attempts. I'm taking Josh Jacobs with the 18. He's gonna run the ball a bunch in this game because, you know what though? I envision them being ahead and them doing what they did against the Commanders and just running him a bunch. He had 23 in that game. I could see him having like 19, 20 carries in this game because they want to run the football, but the Cowboys have been pretty good stopping the run. So that's an interesting one. Pass and rush yards combined. Not touching that. rushing receiving yards. Kavontae Turpin. I do like that one. Sack. Let me see. I just got Micah. I'm not touching Micah on that. I'm not touching Micah on that. I'm not touching that. Let's see. Receptions. I already did Pickens there. Feels like Tolbert is going to have to step up and catch the ball. He should be able to get 3. How many did he have last week? He had 3 last week in the Chicago game. Feels like he's going to have to step up. I mean, again, no CeeDee Lamb. Who's going to catch the football, right? Give me Tolbert for 3 catches. Is it 2.5? Yeah. Give me Tolbert for 3 catches. I like that. I like that a lot. All right. Let's see. I already did anytime touchdown. Golden. Feel like Jacobs is going to get. How many games in a row has he scored a touchdown? Are we still on the streak? He did not. He snapped his streak snapped last week against Cleveland. Well, time to start a new streak. Give me him on an anytime. What does rushing touchdown? Is that more of a multiplier? 1.37. Let's see. Is that more of a multiplier for him? Yeah, it is. Give me a rushing touchdown for Josh Jacobs. All right. And how many? Where we at right now? Love more than 250 passing. Aubrey. I need to go revisit that Jordan Love. No, I don't. Stand your ground. Aubrey at 1.5. Anytime for Golden. Pickens 4.5. Tolbert 2.5. Jacobs. Yeah. All right. Let me see if there's anything else here that I deem worthy of selecting, or I'm gonna just roll with what I got. Boy, that Jordan Love 6.5 yards. It's calling my name, bro. It's calling my name. My goodness, it is calling my name. I just feel like I need to leave it alone. Kavontae Turpin. I don't think they're gonna give it to him on a jet sweep. I think they're gonna give it to him on one of those, little jet motion from shotgun where they flip it to him and it's gonna be like a pass instead of a run. So I don't want to touch that. I just need Jordan Love to run once and get 8 yards and run out of bounds. He can do that, right? But what if he does the Detroit game and just does, because he doesn't really want to run. Jordan Love doesn't want to run. And this Cowboys defense ain't the type that's going to really force him out of the pocket and make him run. I'm gonna be kicking myself if I don't take the 7 yards and then he runs for 8 yards in this game. And I feel like he's gonna do that. Let me see what does it add to my, if I take it? What does it add? No, it subtracts. It takes away because I'm taking this over his passing yards, and I'm not trying to do that. So just give me the Jordan Love pass yards. And I was at 250. Should I just keep it at 232? Stop being a buster. You said 250. You said he's going to get some explosives. Stop being a buster. Matter of fact, put your money where your mouth is. 275 them. 275 them. Stop being a buster. All right. I like it. I like it a lot. I like where I'm at right here. I don't think I need to do nothing else. So I got Brandon Aubrey for 2 field goals. Matthew Golden, anytime touchdown. He's going to get an explosive in this game. They took away my Matthew Golden. So let's go back to Matthew Golden. So I don't want the touchdown over the yards. So let's go back to Matthew Golden and yards. Because the yards are more than the anytime touchdown. I don't need him to score a touchdown. I just need him to have an explosive play. I think he's gonna have 70 yards or more in this game. So what just happened? What just happened? Okay, so the touchdown is worth more. How is that possible? I don't know how that's worth more. So I do need him to score a touchdown. I'm going to leave it there because the multiplier went way down when I took him on yards. The touchdown is worth way more. So we'll just leave him there. So Aubrey at 2 field goals, Pickens at 5 catches, Tolbert at 3 catches, Jacobs a rush touchdown in this game, Jordan Love with more than 275 pass yards, and Matthew Golden with an anytime touchdown. I'm not going to boost this because I'm going to boost my kicker pick. Let me see what the boost does to it, though. Oh, here's one right here I can use. 33%. Bow. So that can get me up to $931.30. I like it a lot on a $15 wager on the app. Let's go get this money. All right. So now I'm going to double up. I'm going to double up for y'all real quick. And I am going to do my kickers picks, my kicker special here. So let's go ahead and do that one right now while we're at it. All right. So we're back at it. NFL. Let's go through these games. And we're going to start with the game over in London. All right. So let's go straight to the kickers. See if they have, not all games have kickers listed either, which I don't love. So we'll start with the kick points. Boswell at 6.5, Will Reichert at 7.5. And if it's, I think both of them are going to be at 1.5 field goals made. I just feel like I just need to take both of these kickers at 1.5 field goals made. Boswell let me down last week. New England, they just didn't kick any field goals, which is just crazy. But the Steelers kick field goals every week. So I'll be shocked if it's 2 weeks in a row for Boswell not kicking 2 field goals. Will Reichert has been money this season, 2 every week. Could this be the week where he finally doesn't make 2? I'm going to leave Will Reichert alone. If I have to come back to him, then I will. Let's see if I can't find 7 other kickers. I'm staying away from the 2 kickers in the Commanders Falcons game. Let's go to the Saints and Bills. See their 2 kickers. I think I'm going to leave this game alone as well. Although Groupie has kicked 2. Yeah, this feels, the Saints, I'm just going to leave him. Prater, yeah, he had 3 in each of the first 2 games, but this is not the type of defense that's going to force them to. Let's go to the kick points. Yeah, I'm going to leave that game alone. All right. I don't love the Browns kicker, although he hit a big one last week, Schmidt. But maybe that gave him some confidence. But he's been missing too. I'm going to roll the dice with him this week. The Browns don't score a bunch of points. We know they're going to kick some field goals. I'm going to take Schmidt. And I'm going to stay away from Bates. I think, let's see what the kick points are for him. Yeah, that's too many kick points. But I think the Lions could score some points in this game. I know the Browns have a really good defense, but I'm going to leave him alone. Joey Sly, the Titans kick a bunch of field goals. He's good for 2 field goals. He missed a couple now, so you got to be careful with Joey. He might be starting to go sideways, but nobody kicks more field goals in the league than the Texans can't score. Kamimi Fairbairn has been their best form of offense this season. He feels like a lock to make 2 field goals. So I'll take both kickers in that game. How many kickers do I have now? That's 4. Okay, so we need 4 more. Let's keep going. Carolina and New England. I don't think I love either of the kickers in this game. I think I'm going to skip over these 2. Just let me. So they don't even have field goals made. They just have kick points. I'm just going to leave this game alone. Chargers and Giants. Giants have a different kicker in there. I don't think I'm going to mess with that. Younghoe Koo. Yeah, I'm not messing with Younghoe Koo. But Dicker the kicker gets busy. And so I got to take Dicker the kicker to make 2 field goals against the Giants. Well, how many kick points? 7.5? 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. Yeah, I'll stay right here with the 1.5 on the field goals. All right, moving on. Bucks and Eagles. Both of these teams kick field goals. McLaughlin, so they don't have the Eagles up here yet, but McLaughlin kicks field goals every week for Tampa Bay. He had 5 last week against the Jets. This is a defense that is going to force him to kick field goals again in Philly. So I'll take him in this game. Before this, he didn't have a game where he made 2, but this feels like a week where he's going to have to kick some field goals against this Eagles defense. So give me him. I need both kickers in this game. I need Cam Little and I need Eddie Pinheiro. Give me both. Give me both. Give me both. All right. Am I up to 8 now? I might have to go back and look at some of these kickers that I don't necessarily love. Yeah, I got 8. So let's go back and because there may be another game where, like for instance, the Rams don't score touchdowns; they kick field goals, right? So Joshua Carty having parties every week. Schrader for the Colts kicks field goals every week. Let me see what the kick points are for both of these teams. All right. So I think I want them to over some of the kickers that I already have. So let me go back. All right. So let me go back to my slip, my entry slip, and see who I want to take off. Boswell feels good. I don't trust Schmidt from Cleveland, so I'm gonna take him off. All right. I trust Joey Sly. I trust Kamimi Fairbairn. Dicker the kicker is good money. Everybody else, I think Cam Little of Jacksonville. He's good. He's been money this season, but what if they just don't get enough opportunities to kick field goals? It feels like this is going to be a field goal fest between these two teams. That's what it feels like to me. I think I'm going to leave him alone. Let's see, I'm taking somebody else off because I think I want both of these kickers up here. Let's see, Fairbairn. They're gonna kick field goals in Houston. They can't score, man. Joey Sly's gonna kick field goals. They can't score, man. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. I just need one more. Maybe I'll just take one of those 2 kickers. Because McLaughlin is gonna kick field goals against Philly. I feel confident about that. They're gonna have to settle for some field goals this week. Dicker the kicker is interesting. They kick field goals, but I could see them scoring touchdowns in this game too. Tell you what, I'm going to just take Joshua Carty and leave Schrader out of this. All right. And how many do I have now? 8. Yep. Man, that went down significantly. It was at 1,300 just a second ago. So who did that? The Schmidt. Oh, Schmidt was. I got to leave Schmidt in here, man. Schmidt is worth a lot more money. But you chasing after $200, you might lose 1,100. Yeah. What if they go to Detroit and lose 30-10 and he only makes 1 field goal? Just leave him out of this. Don't go chasing after $200 and at the expense of the rest of this money. All right, I like what I just did. Boswell to get the day started. Remember, that is a Boswell. Oops, excuse me. Boswell is kicking in the first international game of the season. That game's on at 9:30 tomorrow morning if you're on the East Coast. So I'll know right away if this thing is dead or not. I need Boswell to get my day started off the right way with 2 field goals in that first game. Then you go to Sly and Fairbairn in that game. That feels like a field goal fest. Like the first to 5 field goals wins. That's what that game feels like. 2 teams that can't score. Dicker against the Giants. That's the one that I'm kind of like, could the Chargers just destroy the Giants? But the Giants defensively aren't terrible. So I feel like they could hold them down and force them to kick a couple field goals. McLaughlin feels like a guy that's going to have to kick field goals against Philly this weekend. Jacksonville and San Francisco is going to be a field goal fest, much like Tennessee and Houston. So I feel confident in that. And Cardi has been kicking field goals like his mind gone bad because the Rams are terrible in the red zone. So I feel good about that. And the Rams are really good defensively, and they usually force you to kick some field goals. But I'll keep it at where I'm at there. We have a 40% boost we can use. So we're going to use that. That's going to push us up to $1,500 potential dollars that could be won here. So let's get it, man. I'm going to do this every single week. Kickers edition. Let's get it. $1,500 on the line. Come on, kickers. Do your man some justice. I'm submitting my pick. All right. So y'all need to get in on this action, man. I'd hate for me to win $1,500 and y'all to have an opportunity to do it too, and y'all ain't with the kid. All right. So that is the sleeper game for this week.
The skill game brought to you by Sleeper.
Or rather, the skill game, excuse me, for this week. And I'll be breaking all of this down. How did I do? On the overtime series on Sunday, I'll be breaking down how I did in the Cowboys game on Sunday night overtime. I'll be breaking down how I did with the kickers, either that game, more likely than not that game, or it'll be with the Commanders game. But I won't know the outcome because I got some 4 o'clockers in there too. So with the kickers. So I'll already know if it's dead, though. It could already be dead by the time we get to the 1 o'clock games. If Chris Boswell doesn't do what he needs to do in the first game, it could already be dead. But ultimately, I'll let you know how that one went. And we'll be keeping tabs on all of this. Oh. I did have a couple of super chats, or a comment and a super chat, that I did want to get to. So let me add this back on real quick. So turn it sideways. There we go. So on my last stream, I made the mistake of getting out of here too fast before I got to these comments. So let me just knock these out real quick. Nike, thank you for being a member of the MOBB for 26 months. Really, truly do appreciate you. Pull this out real quick. My guy, Nike, writes, what team do you think would trade a receiver to us? So, Nike, this is what you got to understand. We're not in a position to be giving away picks for a receiver. Like, we don't want to give away any more picks. Like, what our fan base has to understand is we're not in a position. You can't cry about not being a young team. You can't complain about being the oldest team in football, yet every time an opportunity presents itself, y'all want to give away picks. You can't get younger and get cheap labor if you keep giving away draft picks. We don't even have picks to give away right now, basically. Like, we don't have a 2nd round pick right now. I don't think we have a 4th round pick. I think all you have is a 1st and a 3rd right now. Like, you're not in a position to be giving away any more picks. So ultimately, we're trying to collect picks, not give them away. So I don't think they're going to be in the market for anybody. Then the other one, the Commandalorian. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. The Commandalorian writes, my layover to Atlanta ended up being in Dallas, and I came prepared with my Keep Calm and Hate Dallas shirt. 2 birds, 1 flight. Oh, I love it. So that kind of weaved its way into this one, Commandalorian. Even though I apologize for not getting to this on the last stream, but it kind of weaved into this Dallas one because you were still able to get a shot in at the Dallas Cowboy fans. Look at that. You know what? As a wise man once said, you ain't got to get ready if you stay ready. You were already prepared. And look at that, right? Look at that. Look at God. You was already ready. I love it. I love it. Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on the Skill Game. Once again, big shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring the stream. And if you haven't already done so, download the app, use the promo code LTN to get you 100% match on a deposit up to $100. You won't be sorry, especially after I hit one of these joints. I got one for 600, I got one for 800, and I got one for 1500. I'm gonna start hitting these. So I've already had multiple people say, Louie T, I made money based off of your picks. You can be next. Join the fun. All right. Anyway, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I look forward to chopping it up with you guys next time. And again, I got a treat for y'all on the overtime series after Sunday Night Football overtime, or during the Sunday Night overtime football overtime of Cowboys Packers. I got a treat for y'all. So make sure you tune in to that live stream post Cowboys Packers. Should be a lot of fun. Whether they win or lose, you know where to find me. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.